Welcome back to Fantasyland Adventures, a podcast where we're talking all things Disney, Universal, and travel. My name is Jamie. This is my co-host and wife, Brandy. We are travel professionals with such a time as this, a travel agency. And tonight, we're going to go over the big one.
Some of the announcements.
Some of them, yeah. We're not going to cover everything. We'll touch on the movies a little bit. We've got confirmation for the new Avatar, Fire and Ash.
Frozen.
A new Frozen. I think, did they announce 3 and 4?
I think subtly.
Yeah, I think 3 and 4 are coming.
Because they said, we'll go over why Anna has powers and Elsa does, or why Elsa has powers and Anna doesn't.
Right.
But it might take
more than one movie.
More than one movie to do. So I feel like they kind of subtly said there would be a 3 and a 4.
Yeah, got the official trailer for Moana 2 that's coming out on Thanksgiving of this year.
Very excited to see that one.
I don't know that they announced a date for Frozen. I want to say it's like 2026 maybe, or 27
I think they're
even.
still far out. Like, they showed a picture, but it was just like very brief concept.
Yeah. But, some great movies coming out. The Mandalorian is getting a movie. I know that.
Mm-hmm. Toy Story
5. Yeah, 5. Yeah.
Yep.
We talked about Toy Story. This might need to be the end of Toy Story. You don't want to
overdo
something. I go back to Sons of Anarchy, which is a show that is near and dear to my heart. Kurt Sutter mentioned he did what he did because basically leaving the show on a high note. I thought Toy Story 4 was good. Hopefully Toy Story 5 is good.
Yeah.
Maybe time to leave it on a high note.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else was coming as far as movies and shows. I'm sure there was other stuff.
There was a bunch of other things.
That obviously is not
Incredibles.
Is there an Incredibles? Yeah,
I think there is an Incredibles.
I think there is a new Incredibles coming. New shows coming to Disney Plus. New Marvel stuff. New Marvel shows. Mm-hmm. Something with Agatha. I can't remember what all that's about. But plenty of stuff as far as the movies and all that kind of stuff is concerned. But we are going to focus mainly on the
parks.
They didn't call it it used to be called the Parks panel. I think it's the Disney Experiences panel.
I don't remember what
is what they officially called it. Because, it's got Disney Cruise Line, it's got the international parks, all that kind of stuff. The first thing, because it was kind of the smallest, and honestly, I say small, but the one that you and I had talked about, not sure if they were going to have a ton of news with, was Disney Cruise Line, because they've been releasing so much with the Destiny and the Treasure and all that kind of stuff leading up to
they've kind of
D23.
thrown, what kind of shows to expect.
They did that, and they also said that they're going to be adding more ships between 2027 and 2031 for a total of 13. I want to say it's another 4 ships.
I think it was 4 more ships.
Over what they have already announced.
Yeah.
That's a
lot. That's a ton of boats.
I don't know how many Royal and Carnival and them have, but they got to be pushing. If they're going to have all that, 2031 sounds like it's a long time, but it's basically
7 years.
This year is almost over, so 6 years, 6 and a half. That's a ton. Looks like they're all still going to be made by that. I don't know how to pronounce the name. The shipyard over there. I think it's in Germany.
I think they're in Germany.
Yeah, looks like they're all still going to be made over there. Meyer, yeah. So, Disney Cruise Line, ton of ships. You're going to have an entire fleet, basically.
To pick from.
Yeah. Now, these are going to sail throughout the world. And I want to say, I saw something, and I think it was referring to the Destiny, maybe? I don't remember. It's either Destiny or the Treasure. That is going to be the first Disney ship that has not sailed out of Port Canaveral.
Okay.
So, they're going out of Fort Lauderdale. Something interesting.
Yeah.
But I think that has to do with Fort Lauderdale now has its own Disney port, where before it didn't.
Right.
It was just a random port. All right. I want to start, I think, in Disneyland, because they didn't have a ton. They had some big stuff, just not a ton of it. They are getting Pandora.
And they're getting Coco.
I think the coolest thing for me was the Walt animatronic.
Yeah.
That's going to be the first one ever.
Yep.
Ever made.
Could you imagine being the Imagineers on that?
That'd be a tough job. You better be perfect
Yep.
in every sense of the way. That being said,
in every aspect of the game.
Exactly. Remember the Titans. I also think that's going to be one of the most emotional experiences out there. Yeah, it's going into the Lincoln Theater where Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln is. And that is going to basically be a revolving show, essentially.
It's kind of like the Carousel Progress.
I don't know if it's going to be that or if it's just going to have different things throughout the day. You know, at 12 o'clock, it's going to be Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln. At 1 o'clock, it's going to be it's going to be Walt Disney, A Magical Life is what it's going to be called. So that's something that's cool that's coming to Disneyland. They are getting the Pandora, the World of Avatar, but it's going to be based off of the Way of Water, Fire and Ash, and the following movie, whatever that happens to be. I don't think they've made the announcement on what that fourth movie would be. But it's all supposed to basically fill in that kind of stuff. Let's see what else. We mentioned the Coco ride. Mm-hmm. They didn't go basically into a ton of detail. Now, Josh Tomorrow said this is all basically in the works. It's not blue sky. That being said, I'm not going to say I don't have my hopes up, but stuff that's not blue sky gets shelved all the time. Budget cuts, whatever.
Absolutely.
This just means it's in writing. You know, plans have been drawn. Now, some of this stuff is already happening. We'll get into some of that stuff that is. But, like this, I think this Avatar thing is for sure going to happen.
They need to get Avatar.
The biggest question, it's honestly the question, and we'll kind of get into it as we go through the topics, is where's it going to go?
Yeah.
You know, we have gotten an answer to some of the stuff that we always had those questions on since this announcement. This happened a week and a half ago now, I guess.
Yeah, about that.
Maybe a week. So we've gotten some clarification, but like I said, Avatar coming to California. Let's see what else is California. California's also going to get some more Avengers stuff in Avengers Campus. That's one thing I wish we could get over this way, some more of the Avengers kind of stuff. They're going to get 2 new attractions in Avengers Campus. I'm trying to pull up and see if they mentioned what they were going to be. Let's see if we can find it. There we go. Ready to Save the World and Galaxy. Oh yeah, they're going to have Tony Stark's flight test or something. Basically an Iron Man kind of attraction. And then it's going to be the Thanos ride. I don't know how much you know about Marvel. I've seen some of it.
Not much.
You know who Iron Man is.
Yeah.
And Tony Stark.
I know who the characters are.
You know who you watched some of the one with Thanos, right?
No, I don't think so.
You know what's that? That's a good one. We have to watch that one. But anyway, so 2 new rides coming to Avengers Campus. It's going to be, sounds like they're going to actually expand that area, not just add in some attractions. A couple things at the international parks. Disneyland Paris is going to get a flume ride based on the Lion King, and I believe they're also getting the Frozen is coming to Disneyland Paris as well. Honestly, the international parks didn't get a ton.
No, they didn't.
I feel like they always get a boatload, but
because they're new.
They're newer for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Comparatively speaking,
they are definitely newer. Let's see. I'm gonna see if there's anything else that I want to talk about. Oh yeah. The Tiana's Bayou Adventure opens November 15th at Disneyland. So they're gonna finally get there, which we kind of expected that announcement to come. That wasn't anything that was really crazy. I think that about does it. We're going to get into the kind of meat and potatoes. So typically, in my opinion, Walt Disney World in Florida doesn't get a ton. Not big announcements.
I don't feel like it's anything...
Or at least in recent times.
In recent times, I don't feel like it's been anything big, so to speak.
Not since Tron.
Few things.
I mean, Tron was a big ride, but
it's been a few things here and there. But as far as new lands, they just got Tron, but oh my God, that started back in. It was before COVID.
Yeah, don't quote me on what was first. I'm gonna say the last big one was either going to be Avatar or Galaxy's Edge. I think Avatar was first, so it's probably going to be Galaxy's Edge. Was the last really
adding
big one.
any new areas.
Yeah, it hasn't happened.
Really hasn't happened.
Well, we've talked about it before. I don't think we've ever mentioned on the show that Disneyland always gets the good stuff, but a lot of that's because Disneyland is more of a locals park, where Disney World you're getting
people
stuff from all over, and you don't have to change quite as much. Obviously, Epic Universe at Universal coming has sparked a lot of this.
I think that has a lot to do with it.
I think they had to announce something big.
I think they had to.
And not only big, but in my opinion, they announced a lot.
They did announce. I mean, it's 3 new.
Yeah, three new lands. Yeah. So let's get into the first one.
Which one are you most excited for?
I don't know. I'm excited for all of them. I think villains would be cool. I was actually listening to another show, and I tend to agree. I don't know how I don't dislike that it's going to Magic Kingdom. I think it fits. But I also don't know how I feel about it fitting. Because if you think of Magic Kingdom, happy, whimsical, all that kind of stuff, magical. Now, obviously, villains are part of that story, and there's like Gaston's Tavern, and there's villain stuff there, like you can meet the stepsisters and all that kind of stuff. But, villains in Magic Kingdom. I'm just interested to see how they collide that together. So we'll kind of get into a little bit more of that. I want to kind of go by park. We'll start in Hollywood Studios with, in my opinion, the most surprising one. I don't think anybody would predict it.
I don't know that anyone saw this one coming.
There is a Monsters, Inc. land coming to Disney's Hollywood Studios.
And I have mixed feelings.
I know you do.
When they announce it, do not get me wrong, I'm excited to see a new land come to Hollywood. Because I feel like Hollywood, if you have littles, it can be tough.
It's definitely going to be tough. It might even be tough with this.
And it still may be, just because of the ride that they're adding. But if you look at some of the concept art, there was a playground.
Yeah, I think it's going to be.
So I don't know if there's just going to be a couple more added things.
Might be some more characters. Like Mike Wazowski doesn't have a typical meet and greet. Sully does. Right. You might be able to get a Mike Wazowski meet and greet, or, Roz would be cool.
I am anxious to see how this one comes together. I'm excited for the roller coaster.
Yeah, so basically the roller coaster is going to be, if you've ever seen Monsters, Inc., which if you haven't, you've lived under a rock for the last however many years. I don't know when that movie came out. But basically they come down, they pick up the doors, and they go through I don't want to say a conveyor belt, but it's something similar to that.
They're in a factory.
They're in a factory, and they whisk the doors away, and essentially you're going to be riding that track system. I don't know if it's going to actually pick you up. I know they're going to be able to simulate the door pickup. Yeah. The concept art it's a hanging coaster, which is the first one at Disney World. So that's something cool. Again, that's going to have height requirements. So as far as little kids, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it'll still be, the ride itself will still be hard.
The big question with that everybody's talking about,
where's it going
to go? Everybody's talked about Muppets. I don't think there's enough land at Muppets.
Not to add a roller coaster like that.
And there's nothing behind it. Galaxy's Edge is behind it. Yeah. And parking lot. So if you look at the map, there's nothing. Yeah. And I don't think and Mama Melrose is popular. Mm-hmm. Muppets, everybody talks about it's the last thing Jim Henson worked on before he passed. And, I think Disney honors that to a certain extent. However, if something isn't making money, they're a money-making business. That's what they're in. But
even with the concept art, I feel like it's bigger.
Yeah, I don't think
than the Muppets area.
People have talked about it replacing Rock and Roller Coaster. I don't think that's going to happen either. I think eventually Rock and Roller Coaster is going to go away, but I don't think that's going to be the case there. Which it almost would kind of fit-ish, if you did do that, because you could realistically probably take out the Racing Academy, and you'd have plenty of land for that. Yeah. However, if you look at the map, I think it's going to go over Animation Courtyard.
Yeah, it could.
The Disney Junior Dance Party, I don't know if that would stay. But even if that did stay and you started where you enter Star Wars Launch Bay, there's really nothing back there. You can meet Darth Vader and I think Chewie. There's somebody else back there. I can't remember. But anyways, do you really need Star Wars in 3 different areas of the park?
Right.
Not like that's not even remotely close. Star Tours really isn't that close either, but it's closer.
Yeah.
I think that's where. And if you look at the map, there's plenty of room to go back. There's also talks that, again, I don't think this is going to happen either, that they take out the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular. And there's plenty of land there, too.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think that's going to happen because that's really, in my opinion, the last true homage, I guess, to Hollywood studios, the behind-the-scenes kind of stuff. You know, they don't have the Backlot Express. They don't have the stunt show. And I think, but people were saying that, and we'll kind of get into this a little bit more, since Indiana Jones is coming to Animal Kingdom, that do they need 2 Indiana Jones things. I don't think that's going to happen. My money lands on Launch Bay.
I don't know that they would take out Indiana Jones, because that's always packed.
It is. Yeah, I don't disagree. Again, I think it'll be Launch Bay. I think there's plenty of room. It's really not being utilized now, even what they're using to its full extent.
I mean, I feel like the last few times we've gone,
there's nobody back there.
There's nobody back there. Now, Little Mermaid's getting ready to open back up.
Yeah, I don't know that they won't. Because you remember where Launch Bay starts, where you walk in. I don't know that they won't just start it there and keep Animation Courtyard. Right. They may.
And expand back.
And just expand back. Because there's land back there. So, that's what Hollywood Studios is getting.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
To see.
I think it's going to be a good addition. I think it's going to, for one, Hollywood Studios need some more attractions.
That's why the waits are always so long.
Even one more is going to help that. Moving on to Epcot, we'll just go to Epcot because it's really not getting a whole lot. Test Track is opening 2025 sometime. It's closed now, but it's basically going to be reimagined into a combination of what it was and what it is.
They're also getting a lounge.
Yeah, they're getting a lounge. So if you go around the back side of Spaceship Earth, you can see some windows. That's going to go right there. They described it as like elegant. So I think it's going to be maybe some higher end cocktails and different things like that. All themed to Spaceship Earth. Epcot's not getting a ton, but Epcot just went through a bunch. You know, they just had a whole remodel of an entire area.
I really expected to hear another country.
Some of the graphics they were putting up, I thought they were going to have another country too.
Well, like you said, you know, in hindsight, they also did just open up.
Well, the whole World Celebration area.
World Celebration area.
Yeah.
So it's just something, you know, just with the show that they were putting on the screen.
Yeah, they were showing all the different countries. I thought they were going to have that. All right, so we'll go to Animal Kingdom. Really, what we did here is we got confirmation more than anything. I would say unexpected.
I think the last D23.
Yeah, this is the Blue Sky.
Was it D23 or Destination? Might have been Destination.
I think it was Destination. Maybe. Yeah, I think it was Destination D23.
I think it was Destination. They kind of threw out some
Blue Sky, but it's not Blue Sky now. And this is one they've actually started working on, like doing stuff. Dinosaurs, no more. Well, it won't be. It's still, you can still ride it now. I think they said in the fall maybe they're going to start closing Dinosaur to reimagine that one.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be Tropical Americas, based on like Central America.
No, that's all of Dino Land.
All of Dino Land.
Yeah, they're getting rid of Dino Land.
That'll be gone. So no more Dinosaur, no more of the Triceratops spin, no more of the carnival games. Nothing like it. It's realistically, Dinosaur was the only thing back there that even had a remote wait time, and even that was only 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's going. That'll be Indiana Jones. They say it's going to be a completely different story than what's at Disneyland. I hope so. Mainly because the track is the same. Now they could change the track, and I kind of hope they do, to make it something literally completely new, just in a different building.
Yeah. I
don't know if they'll use this. I'm assuming they probably will use the same ride vehicles and just, you know, re-outfit them to to the Indiana Jones theme. So they're going to have that over there. This is supposed to be in 2027 is when this will be open. So 2.5 years, roughly.
Mm-hmm. That's all. That's in redoing an entire area.
Yeah, that's not hateful. But like they've already started removing trees. They've already started doing, I don't know if you'd even notice that those trees were gone. Especially if you don't go a ton.
Yeah.
I can tell you we probably wouldn't notice that the trees were gone.
Probably not.
The big one, in my opinion, that's coming is Encanto. Coming to that same area. The casita.
The casita. And from what I understand of it, you'll get in a boat and...
Yes. Is it a boat?
I thought it was a boat.
It might be.
I thought the concept art.
It may be. And that could change too. Even if it wasn't. Yeah. That's all. Literally, like you said, concept art, which is an artist drawing what he thinks it's going to look like. But you're basically going to go through each of the rooms and end up in Antonio's room. You'll meet all the different family members, blah, 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 blah. So that is Animal Kingdom. I don't think there was anything else crazy at Animal Kingdom, was there?
Zootopia.
Yeah. Did they give a date? I
don't remember.
Did they say 2025 maybe? I don't remember.
So Zootopia will be replacing It's Tough to Be a Bug.
Thank God. I don't know that I've even been on. I may have when I was younger, but
I know it scared my nieces.
I think it would scare our daughter. She hates bugs.
She would not do well on that ride.
She can't stand bugs. All right.
She was making something, and there was a bug near her.
Yeah, she flipped out.
And she flipped out.
Yeah, she doesn't like bugs. If there's a housefly flying around, she's flipping her lid. The big one. Magic Kingdom is getting
a ton.
Let's start with, I think, is quote unquote the smallest. Let me see if I can actually figure out. I just want to have it in front of me. That way I know exactly what it's called. It's getting a nighttime parade.
Well, it's also getting the lounge.
Yeah, and the Pirates Lounge.
It's getting the Pirates Lounge.
I believe it is next year that's going to open.
Yeah. They're redoing Tortuga Tavern, right?
I don't know if they're redoing. I think they're redoing the gift shop over at
the Pirates.
I think that's where it's going to be. And I think Tortuga Tavern might stay what is now the gift shop like it is right now.
Right.
I don't know that. They just put up construction walls around the gift shop. So that's the only thing I can think of that they'd be doing there. Is maybe they put the lounge right outside the ride. And
yeah,
the gift
I'm
shop
not sure. We'll have to pay attention when we go down.
If you think about it the other way, it kind of makes sense to do it the opposite. But maybe they are just redoing the gift shop in order to get that out of the way and then do Tortuga Tavern. But I don't know. So in summer 2025, I believe is what they said, the new nighttime parade at the Magic Kingdom is going to be Disney Starlight. It's going to have things like Frozen, Peter Pan, Encanto, all that kind of good stuff. First nighttime parade since the Main Street Electrical Parade, which I don't even remember when that closed. It hadn't been going on since we've been going hot and heavy.
I'll be interested to see how they do this because, and my sister brought up a good point with this, people line up in the hub, hours. Now, granted, most of the time, your fireworks are right at dusk, but when is the parade going to happen?
I think it's going to have to be after.
Is it going to be after?
I think it's going to have to be.
Is it going to be, are they going to push the fireworks back?
I could see it.
And then the parade, and then 15 minutes later is fireworks?
I would, honestly, I'd probably.
So I am interested to see how.
I think it would be the fireworks first. Because like you said, people do line up on the hub, and they're lined up in the parade route.
Yeah.
It's not like they're on the sidewalks.
Yeah.
So I think you almost have to do it after. Maybe
an hour. I know they have the nighttime parade at Disneyland, but they don't have fireworks every night.
Not every night, yeah.
So they don't quite have that debacle.
I think it almost has to be afterwards.
Yeah. I'll be interested.
I don't know that it can, because like you said, they line up in the road, basically, that the parade goes on. Especially on Main Street. Mm-hmm. If it's going right down Main Street. I think you do your fireworks and then maybe 30 minutes to an hour afterwards. You figure the parks are open for another 2 hours.
Yeah.
Normally after the fireworks, or at least an hour. I want to say in the summer it's open until 11, and in the winter it's open until 10. And the fireworks are 9:20 and 8:20. You can maybe, I don't know if you can really push the fireworks up 20 minutes to make them like an even 8 o'clock.
I mean, if you think about it, okay, let's even look at some of the ticketed party tickets. Mm-hmm. Fireworks are typically, so what is the parade? Normally like 8:15, and then fireworks are like 9.
9:15, normally an hour apart.
So maybe they push the fireworks back. I don't know.
I still, because I still think with a party, there's nowhere near the amount of people.
No, there's not.
So I still think, my money lands on after.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see.
But I'm excited that we're getting a nighttime parade.
Yeah, I am very cool. Excited to
I like some of the theming. Like I said, I want to say I heard that they put out a casting call for an Isabella performer. Okay. I think people are thinking that's kind of what it's geared towards. Not sure, obviously, but that's kind of where that's at. Cars Land.
I'm excited for that.
It's coming to the only
a little bit of mixed feelings on where it's going.
In the Magic Kingdom, I think it's appropriately placed.
Yeah, in the Magic Kingdom, I just don't know if Magic Kingdom. I think you and I were talking about it earlier. You know, I feel like they're kind of pushing everything Pixar to Hollywood Studios. Now, not everything Pixar is at Hollywood Studios.
No, but they have the entire Pixar land.
But
Toy Story.
You know, I feel like
Pixar Place or whatever it's called over there.
And although Frozen, I don't think it's Frozen.
No, Frozen's not Pixar.
But most of their attractions.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Pixar. They have the entire Toy Story land. They have the Pixar Place where you can meet the Incredibles, and so I think Sully's over there right now.
Yeah, so which
I'm sure Sully will go over.
You know, and I don't know if it's just land.
It could be. I mean, so this is one thing that everybody had questions with, because one thing at this whole thing that kind of drove me and I know other people insane, they never mentioned where any of this was going to go.
They left people guessing.
Yeah, they just said, "Yep, this is what's coming," which is cool and all. I'm excited for that, but with this one we got some clarification. So this Cars Land is going to replace Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island.
So they're going to fill in?
I've heard mixed things. I've heard that they may shorten the ferry boat and make it a different run, and I've heard they're going to get rid of it completely. Which I'm sure that's a man-made waterway. Yeah. It shouldn't be. You just drain the water and fill it in. Right. Like, it's got drains in it already. Like, the boat is on a track. Yeah. It's not like it's a free... Like, it's still powered by steam and all that kind of stuff, but it follows a track. It's not like it's being driven by a captain. Yeah. So, if they do fill that in, I have no problems with this. People are open arms, but no offense, Tom Sawyer Island's never crowded. No. If you want something to stay, go experience it. People flipped out when Maelstrom closed for Frozen Ever After. Frozen Ever After has a 60-minute wait all the time. Yeah. Maelstrom never did. That I can remember. Yeah. It may have when it first opened, but that's it. And I get what everybody says, but I mentioned it earlier, Disney's in this to make money. What you look at, the most popular attractions are all based on IP. Every single one of them has the longest wait times. So a lot of what we're getting is based on IP, which I have mixed feelings about. Some of my favorite rides weren't IP, like Haunted Mansion before it was a movie. It was an original. But again, if you look at all the wait times, the IP stuff is what people are riding. Yeah. That's what, I hate to say that, but, if it's not broke right now, don't fix it. It's just like people flipping out with sequels. The sequels doubled what the original movie did. So, if you like something and you don't want to get rid of it, go ride it and tell your friends. Other than that,
you have to keep
moving.
Keep moving.
Especially, like we mentioned, Epic Universe is opening. Disney has to do something. That's going to be huge. I think they're going to beat them out the first year. But this makes people that are taking a theme park vacation say, I want to go to Disney. versus I want to stay the whole entire time at Universal.
Yeah.
This is going to make people want to go there. So, Cars Land is going to get 2 attractions. One seems like it's going to be Radiator Springs Racer-ish, which is over at, I think it's DCA, Disney's California Adventure. I don't think it's in Disneyland. I think it's a DCA. I don't remember. But it's going to be like a off-road kind of version of that.
It seems like it's going to be like a dirt.
Yeah, like I forget what they called it, but like a rally maybe. I don't remember. But anyways.
Demolition derby.
Yeah, like a demo derby. Something along those lines. It's probably going to have a height requirement if I had to guess. And then they also said there's going to be another one over there that's going to be more family friendly.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope it's not like, I forget, it's a Mater Roundup something. It's basically alien swirling saucers or the teacups with cars. I hope it's something different than that.
Oh, yeah.
I hope it's not that. 1, I can't do that. It makes me sick. 2, I feel like an alien swirling saucers. When does it ever have a? Yeah, that's a filler.
They have a wait.
Not all the time.
It's only like 30 minutes.
Not like Toy Story Mania or Slinky Dog.
No.
So I just, maybe like a dark ride. A dark ride would be cool. Something along those lines. There's plenty of room there.
It'll be interesting to, again, just to see that. Because I feel like they threw so much out.
Yeah.
At Magic Kingdom.
I think that one's going to happen. And but that's not Beyond Big Thunder. They never mentioned Beyond Big Thunder. No. Ever. But something that I think is going to go Beyond Big Thunder is going to be the Villains Land.
See, yeah, I feel like the Villains Land would fit better behind Fantasyland.
I don't disagree with that. If you come out of like where Small World is and put it like almost behind the Haunted Mansion. But the problem is what you don't see from the ground level is the show buildings.
You don't.
Like, I don't know exactly how much land is actually there.
Yeah, but I feel like in terms of, Fantasyland, all your villains are in the stories from Fantasyland.
I heard everybody say wipe out Storybook Circus. Put it there. The only thing over there, I mean, there's a couple of character meet and greets in the gift shop, but, Barnstormer is really the only thing there.
Yeah, it took out Toontown.
Yeah, it took out Toontown. But Villains Land is supposed to get 2 attractions, dining. I mean, it's going to be a big area. That's the only thing that I think it's almost going to have to go Beyond Big Thunder. And I want to say, if I looked at the concept art, no, you couldn't see it. It was the concept art. I think you could see from what it looked like Big Thunder on Cars. You could see Big Thunder, which makes sense because Times Square Island's right there.
Yeah.
But so Villains Land, it's got to go, in my opinion, Beyond Big Thunder. Just for space.
It'll be interesting, and it'll be interesting to see which of the villains they actually incorporate.
I think Maleficent. I'm pretty sure
I think you'll see Maleficent.
There's a castle back there, which is supposed to be Maleficent's castle. You could see her bird. I don't if the bird has a name. I don't know. It's a crow. It's from the movie. I want to say somebody mentioned, and I'm not even going to attempt to name, the bad horned devil demon looking guy from Fantasia. From the Sorcerer Mickey stuff. I forget what he's called, what his name is. But I've seen people, and I haven't looked in depth at the concept art, but people said they saw something from him there. I want to say there was, when they were doing the announcement, the Evil Queen, and I saw something about Scar. But like some of this stuff could just be incorporated into, the dining theming.
Yeah.
What I thought was a cool idea that I don't know where I heard it, but they were talking about they should do a polar opposite of Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. Since they're having that, you could become a Disney villain. Yeah. Which would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be.
I think Disney villain meet and greets would be cool.
I think we might get some back there.
I think you have to.
Yeah.
But.
Especially because this year, I think it's been Maleficent and the Evil Queen.
Yeah, over in the Tree Trail.
Are out for Mickey's Not So Scary.
Well, and then the Queen of Hearts, she's normally been out too.
Yeah, she's normally been out, but I've seen...
Put Oogie Boogie back there?
I've seen where I'm pretty sure it was Maleficent and the Queen and
It was the Evil Queen.
The Evil Queen.
In the
They
treat
were
trail.
up. No, they were up by the train station.
Oh really? I know they're in the treat trail at Princess Fairy Tale Hall. I know they're in there.
They may be. So I don't know if they're starting to get them out.
Maybe
to kind of.
They didn't give a timeline on that. They said it's going to start construction next year. So you're probably looking at at least two. At least two, yeah. If not 3 or 4 before that happens. Because that's, like, we talked about Monsters, Inc. And even Tropical Americas, they already have that land cleared. They're just, retheming it, essentially. I mean,
they're not
to a big extent.
Literally starting from the ground.
But yeah, like they're literally going to clear trees and all that kind of stuff. Which honestly, I don't know what's more difficult, to be honest with you, in thinking about it. Is it easier to knock down a bunch of stuff you're just tearing up anyway? Or with something that's already there, you're not trying to tear up the concrete if it's there.
Right.
All that kind of stuff. It might make it a little more time consuming to do that kind of stuff. I'm not really sure. Yeah. But can you imagine the Villains Land for Mickey's Not So Scary? Yeah. That place is going to be packed. Absolutely. They could do some cool stuff back there, though, for that.
They could.
The only thing I hope they do, and I'm sure they will because it's Disney, is like, I forget what, Dark Universe is what's going to be at Epic, which to me is going to be less kid appropriate, like young, like our girls' age. Mm-hmm. And I was listening to, I think it was That Tracks podcast. They were talking about, I'm probably not going to let my kid watch Dracula, but she can watch Sleeping Beauty with Maleficent, so it might be more inclined to take her back to the Villains Land area than over to Dark Universe at Epic.
Yeah, I could see that. Because the villains just kind of come in.
Yeah, I hate this. I mean, they're pretty evil, but
they are.
But they're more. I don't know.
They're more likable.
Yeah, I mean, they're not as unapproachable, I guess is the right word. Yeah. Like and it's probably just, they're not a huge part of the movie, like in a Dracula movie, it's a huge part. They're a main character, but the focus on those movies is the hero more than the villain. The villain gets the backstory and all that kind of stuff, but,
It'll be exciting to see it all kind of come together.
I'm excited for it. It's the biggest, especially for the Magic Kingdom, it's the biggest expansion, I think, in the history of Magic Kingdom, if I remember right. It's definitely the biggest one in a long, long, long time. I want to say it's in the history of Magic Kingdom that we're getting all this.
But again, I feel like they had to do something.
They have to. They had to do something. There was no way they couldn't. I think if they didn't announce anything, I think they'd be shooting themselves in the foot. I'm not going to say they'd be in trouble because they're $1 billion.
I'll say they'll never be in trouble, but
I just say never, but
think to continue to compete with their next door neighbor.
Yeah. Is there anything that you thought was going to be announced that wasn't?
I don't know. What did I say I was anticipating?
A resort.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we didn't get another resort. At either Florida or California.
Yes and no.
More California. I'm surprised we didn't get another resort in California. There's only 3.
Yeah. But Disney, they're just adding the DVC tower at the Poly.
Which is going to have a Moana splash pad, looks like, which is going to be awesome. Time to go book a stay. Full send.
How about that? Cutting back next year.
Maybe. I wonder if you can still use it if you're not staying in the tower.
You may be. Like if you're staying at the Polynesian.
Yeah. Because they're going to be able to use your pool. But the only thing I don't know is because it's going to be a DVC tower.
Is it for DVC?
Or the renters of DVC.
Right.
Like I bet you if you're staying DVC, not in the tower, you probably can use it. But can a regular room? I don't know.
I'll be interested to see.
I think you can at Beach Club, Beach and Yacht.
Yeah, because they
Pretty sure you can use a DVC pool.
Yeah.
Don't quote me.
So, I'm yes and no on the resort.
5th gate.
Didn't happen.
Nope.
Instead, got a bunch of new
lands. A bunch of stuff.
I thought that one was a little far-fetched.
Yeah, I mean, That was my bold prediction.
Yeah, that was a pretty heavy one.
But realistically, they don't need to. Even looking at the numbers, they don't need to. I think they will eventually. I mean, they got the land. I think you're going to get a 5th gate at some point.
Maybe.
But what it would be, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I've heard people talking about another water park. I wouldn't.
I don't.
They closed the one now.
I was going to say they only have one open at a time right now, anyway.
And plus, the only thing I think would change that is next year they're giving you that free day for the water park.
Yeah, but that's because no one goes to the water park.
Yeah, but if you have, but does no one go to the water park because no one? I mean, people go.
I wouldn't say no one goes. I think the other day I just saw where they weren't letting anybody in because they were at capacity.
Right. But does this get people, oh, this is something we want to do more?
Right.
You know, does it get basically a free trial, for lack of a better term, and then they want to continue to go there for the rest of their trips?
I don't think it would be another water park.
I don't think it would. That was not what I would think. I think before you see another water park, I think they're going to have both of the ones they had open simultaneously.
Yeah.
And show a need for another
But yeah,
one.
I don't know if they were to open one, what it would be.
Enough at 5th gate?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm sure they've got some blue sky.
I'm sure they've got something because they've always got something, but...
You know, originally the thought was a villain's park. To me...
I don't know that you would have to draw to just go
not
there.
for an entire park.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you'd get, a select group of people that would go to a villain's park. I mean, I would go to a villain's park. I think it'd be cool, but, is it enough for an entire 5th gate? Probably not, in my opinion. So, that's kind of, I mentioned the parade.
Yep.
That kind of covers Magic Kingdom. One thing I did forget to mention is Mando and Grogu are getting scenes in Star Tours. So that's something else coming to the studios. I think that's in 2026.
It's going to be different.
It's going to be a lot different in 5 years. Yeah, I think you're going to see...
It's going to be a completely different park.
All the construction starting within the next 5 years, hopefully. We saw how Tron went, though.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Anything besides monsters that surprised you? To me, the only thing... I didn't expect Cars.
I didn't expect Cars, but I didn't hate it either.
No, I like the idea.
Because I'm always a little envious anytime we're watching any of the podcasts or the
vlogs.
The vlogs on Cars Land.
The only thing, though, is we're not going to get the one stoplight. You're not going to get that.
Man.
Yeah. This is basically what they're going to do with Cars Land is going to be beyond Radiator Springs.
Yeah.
Which, again, I think it's going to be great. I mean, just looking at the job they did with Cars Land at DCA, I have high expectations and hopes for this one. But I think that about sums us up for D23. Anything else you got or no?
There were a lot of announcements.
Yeah, there's a ton. There's going to be a ton of news coming as things progress, as things get released of like locations and exactly where things are going to go. Like I said, we did get that exact location for the Cars Land for Tom Sawyer Island and Rivers of America. But technically we haven't gotten anything as far as monsters or villains or any of that kind of stuff. Just all speculation right now. Hopefully
time will tell.
So, well, thank you all for listening. If you want a quote for your next Disney or Universal vacation or sandals or beaches, there is a link in the show notes. Just select us as a preferred agent. You can follow us on social media, especially TikTok. We just got the ability to go live yesterday or today. I don't remember. I think it was yesterday. So once we get down to the parks, we might be doing some TikTok live and all that kind of stuff. But you can follow us over there. TikTok is going to be Jamie_such a time travel. Instagram, Jamie_magical vacations. YouTube, Magical Vacations by Jamie and Brandy. And Facebook, Magical Vacations by Jamie and Brandy. Such a time as this, a travel agency. Make sure to rate and review the podcast. If you are watching on YouTube, like the video and subscribe to the channel. And we will see you guys next time.